to shake and go in any which direction it chooses, and just careful about the amount of pressure that I'm putting on my brush. This does take a bit of practice, to be honest. And if I feel like something's too bright, I'll dab it. So obviously I don't want a pear that looks like it's got the chicken pox. However, our pear is starting to look a bit more realistic. As we work our way down, our value will change. We want those spots to disappear into the shadows. A shadow will always disappear into a shadow. However, I do want them bold enough that just as it's moving its way into the shadow, the tiny little shadows from the dimples can just be made out. If you need to go over them again to soften them, that's an idea. All these tiny little dimples will, in the end, honestly, it's going to look funny until you're done. As soon as you're done, it's all going to come together. Don't forget to just, in some areas, don't linger so long, and in other areas, linger a bit longer, make more marks. So don't forget, pears will have these imperfections as they grow on the tree. No two are the same. So how are you guys all getting on? I've had a pretty amazing week, to be honest. Started off on a bit of a high. I was feeling like one of those preppers from that Doomsday Prepper show. I was like, yep, I found my calling. I am prepared for this. And then I've been enjoying lots of contact with everyone. It's been really, really lovely. I'm honestly quite overwhelmed by the support that's coming. My husband and I were saying that we just feel like this is a bit in some ways our bread and butter to be able to support others, because a lot of you have had a big shock and a big life change where you've gone from enjoying a very social, normal life. Now your life's been flipped upside down and you're alone a lot. To be honest, for Carl and I, this is not entirely new. With me being unwell quite a lot, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it to you before personally, but there's a genetic illness that runs in my family. My sister has it and I have it, and so it stems from the bone marrow, and it basically causes allergies through your whole body all the time. And for my sister, it's much worse than for me. I don't seem to have quite as severe allergies as her, but they definitely are there all the time. So sometimes they're better than others. I seem to have a pretty good health plan worked out. At the moment, I've stopped that in the hope of doing a bit of a gut restoration thing, because I was in a bit of pain with my gut recently. But as soon as I stopped the sort of program I was on, it's just causing me all sorts of other dramas. So that's okay. That's what we have. But this is what Carl and I are used to living with. So I'm used to being isolated I can be fine for a couple of weeks, and then out of nowhere in the middle of the day I can be hit with some really heavy symptoms, and I could be out of action for 2 to 3 weeks, and it's rough. It's tiring, and it's draining, and it's depressing, and it's very hard to not be able to get out of the house, to be able to see people, to have to say no to everything all the time, and people don't always understand if they haven't lived with an illness like this before. It can be quite hard on your friendships, to try and help people understand that you really want to be there, but sometimes it's just physically impossible. So for us, and then we've also been through other disappointments in life, where we've felt pretty low on ourselves. So for us, we've experienced a lot of these very isolating experiences in the past, and for us, this whole isolation thing, it's not easy, but it's certainly nowhere near as hard as it is for most of you. So we've been doing our best to provide as much support as we can, because we remember what it was like when our lives changed quite suddenly, and how difficult that was to adjust to. And so we've been trying really hard to support our friends and other people going through this, but to be honest, we're absolutely blown away by the support that everyone's been offering us, and I think it wasn't until today I realised I really needed it. I don't think there's a limit on empathy or support that you can give to anyone. I try to not be that person that thinks, well, I'm all out now, I've got nothing left to give. I try really hard to not be that person, but I think we all get tired, and a lack of sleep and inevitable worrying. Obviously, we both have parents who are in their 70s and 80s, and we've got a lot of worry for them. We've got friends who are overseas, and they know people who are very, very sick. So we're concerned, we feel very worried about all of you. And I think, like everyone, we're a bit tired of the way things are in the world, and are looking forward to things changing. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster week. We've just been so overwhelmed by all the support, and to be honest, I don't think we've ever been this social in our lives. We're just always either on the phone or having Zoom catch-ups, which has been lovely. We're doing a little Zoom house party next week, which should be fun. It'll be a little 90s themed thing, so it's really lovely. And then literally I just woke up today and just felt really over it, I think as well, just being an empath, I can't handle looking at suffering. It absolutely destroys me. And when I see these numbers go up overseas, and I see some of the mistakes that people have been making, and the situations they've been falling into, it's very painful to watch. Very, very painful to watch. And the distress of people too, obviously, is incredibly painful. So I think today I've just tuned out. I've just decided I just can't look at it anymore. And I don't want to be a hermit or ignorant or uncaring, but I think for my own well-being, I just need to switch off for a little bit. I just can't do any more coronavirus today. Which is healthy. It's a healthy thing to know when to stop. Alright, so as you can see, I've just made a slightly lighter version of my yellow ochre and burnt sienna. And I'm trying to go around some of these dimples a little bit. I just want to exaggerate that shine on that pear. We want it to make it look like a really juicy, I want to eat that kind of pear. So I'm like I said, I'm just trying to put some of that lighter colour in around the pear and around the dimples in the pear. And remember, my heaviest paint is going where I want it the brightest, and then as I want it to fade out, I take the paint off my brush and just rub it in and blend it out. Okay. So another thing I wanted to say to you guys was, I know a few of you have had a quick look at these videos and sort of felt, this is a bit beyond me, I don't really want to do this. So that's okay. Just have a watch of the videos anyway, because it'll just help you get your mind in the right gear for when it comes to painting. Also, if you feel like you need a bit more one-on-one tutoring, I'm happy to do it just for my friends for now. I'm not a good teacher. I'm quite aware of that. I'm a bit bumbly and mumbly, and I forget things, and I'm terrible. I've been told by children I'm a terrible teacher. So it's not something I'm going to be doing as a career or anything. I'm just going to stick to painting, I think. But if you do feel like you want a bit more one-on-one, let me know. And then we can have a Zoom or FaceTime or Skype or whatever, and have a chat. If you have kids who are doing some artwork and they want a little bit of feedback and a little bit of guidance, I'm also happy to do that for now. I'm not doing lessons right now, but I'm definitely happy to provide that guidance and help them to move their paintings in the direction they want to get them, or their artworks. If you're thinking about what art can I do with my kids, a really good one that my nieces have done recently, which they did a fantastic job of, is Picasso drawings. Doing a little study on Picasso. So if you're stuck at home with your kids and you think, I don't know what I'm going to do with them for art, those Picasso ones are great. Have a look at some Picasso paintings and get your kids to do a little study on them. And see if they can make their own Picasso version of themselves. It's good fun. Alright. I think I'm going to leave that maybe. There you go. So now I'm just trying to provide a bit of light through those dimples. So essentially we've actually gone over our entire pear again, but that undercoat, those colours that were there before, are really shining through. Okay. Oh, you know when you smell something, you're like, what is that smell? I feel like I can smell 2-minute noodles everywhere today. We actually caved and decided to have that yesterday for lunch, and it was like so much regret. We knew we shouldn't have done it, but we did it. Where is my... Oh, here we go. I'm going to add a bit of Naples yellow. It's really just a bit of yellow mixed with some white. So I'd say if you wanted to make your own Naples yellow, go 50% lemon yellow, 50% yellow ochre, and mix that with some white. And then you should get a really good blending yellow. I've just found, I never would have bought this colour, but lately I've, with the course that I did with Robin Ely, this was on the list of things to use, I really found it a great blending tool to go from your lighter shades to your colour. It seems to be not too warm, not too cool. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm happy with that. So that's the spots for the pear. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the background. To be entirely honest, I haven't decided what colour I want to do this yet. So what I might do is I might stop the video here and then we'll work on the background and then we'll have a go at this here and we'll figure out a colour for that one. Alright, talk soon.